Hello everybody, good evening, afternoon, morning or night, wherever you're watching from. Thank you very much for tuning in to this very special event we have here. Here, we have the first tournament match of a nice little newbie T1 tournament. I myself am Haroldson, and joined by my side is Midnight, our cameraman, and co-caster Joken. Why don't you say hello?
Hello there, how are you doing?
Very nice. Okay, so setup to begin with will be a smoker, charger, hunter, and a boomer. I can't do a roster rundown because they're already leaving the safe room, but I will get to that after. Everybody spawning up now. Hunter moving in on the back. We've got a little duo cap temporarily. Charger's going to be cleared by the melee weapon. Hunter cleared as well. Boomer dropping in, trying to get some procs, but he is nicely shoved away, and a little bit of damage, but not too much happening there. So now I can go over the roster rundown for the Survivor team. We have Veni, Vidi, Vici, which is VVV, which will be Chris, Carl, Flickshot, and Relax. And there we see there a quick little crown on the witch. On the Infected team, we have Smurf, Bam, Zombie Man, and GK. Their team name, I will warn you, is not safe for work, so I won't be saying it, but they are, to me, as... They're going to be killing off that spitter for the tank fight. Hunter moving in now for the guy in the back. Smoker missed the tongue. Nice little charge onto two people in the back there. A little bit of separation, and a Smoker landing onto Rochelle. That charger wasn't cleared too quickly, so he's managed to actually make Ellis limp. The rock was nearly landed there, and the tank will be in the hands of Bam.
That was nice play by this Infected.
It was, yeah, nice little charge in the back there. They're basically going to force Ellis to use his medkit, and each medkit awards you 25 points when you make it to the safe room. So that's an instant 25 points they have denied. Tank is looking to move in already. He's going straight in. He's very happy with this setup. He's going to try and pin somebody. He misses his first punch, though. This is not looking good for him. He pins Rochelle. Spawns are going to be coming in any moment now. After Rochelle is ink out, Spawn's moving in. Charger and Jockey going for Nick. The Charger unfortunately misses. Boomer's coming in through the doorway. Gets a boom onto two survivors. And the stumble will allow him to pin Ellis as well. But he will perishing there. A little bit unfortunate with the Charger missing his opportunity there as a bot spitter going in. All in all, it looked a lot better than it played out. Unfortunately, the first punch was missed, so a lot of damage happened to the tank before he could actually pin somebody. And with that bot spitter, it means they're not going to get a spitter for this attack. They currently have a Jockey, Smoker, Boomer, and final spawn is yet to be announced, and a Hunter. Most of the spawns are on the roof at the moment. We have a Boomer positioned on the balcony, probably looking to drop down onto the survivors any moment. Oh, no. Okay, they're repositioning, so they're going to be going for an alleyway attack. Hunter is pre-spawned, but Hunters do not make a sound when they pre-spawn, so that's okay. Smoker going from behind, Boomer going from on top, lands onto three survivors. A nice little shutdown on the Hunter there, which will allow them to clear the Jockey. Smoker and Boomer moving in for some scratches, getting as much damage as they can. Still only three survivors boomed, and if they're quick enough, they can potentially make it out to the alarm car. Although three people are boomed.
Yeah, really good job. Making sure the Boomer dies fast. So they will have a spitter for next up.
Indeed, yeah. Currently they have a spitter and a charger. The spitter's going to spit in front of the safe room to delay them as much as he can. Rochelle is separated inside the safe room, and the spawns they have now are Charger, Hunter, and a Smoker, all moving in simultaneously. The Smoker is going to pull someone into the alarm car and so trigger it. The Charger landed onto the coach but was immediately cleared, and they are going to make it into the safe room with two medkits. They did successfully shut down the witch as well, so they will be awarded bonus points for all of those achievements, putting them at a point of 645, which is a very good position to be in for Team VVV. And moving on to the second round, I would just do my job of giving the tank to the right person.
Who is the number reached?
Flickshot will become the tank. There we are. So, just waiting for the last person to ready up here. We have, for the initial setup, it will be the same as last time, which will be a Smoker, a Charger, a Boomer, and I don't actually have the spec HUD, but I believe it's a Hunter. So it looks like we have a smoker positioned on ground level in the little hatchway below that balcony. That depends how they can pull that off, because he's very close to them. He's going to pull Ellis, immediately cleared. Boomer lands onto one. Charger moving in gets killed immediately as well. All of the spawns were cleared exceptionally quick, and I mean a total of 2 points, 4 points now on the board, simply because of the common infected hitting Ellis. Otherwise, no damage was allowed, and they're going to move over to the switch now, and they should be able to clear it. And they do just that. Very nicely done by the survivors there, shutting down that attack and allowing absolutely no damage, essentially. And we have a Spitter and a Boomer, or do we? Yes, we do. Hunter and a Charger. Hunter moving in from the back, Charger from the front. Lands onto somebody, but the Spit was premature. There is a Boom landing onto 2 people in the front, though. They are blocked off by the Spit. And the Hunter took a while to be cleared there. Similar to last time, there was an infected that landed for quite a while. Tank's going for a rock, and nobody's looking at the rock at the moment, and they turn around just at the right time and kill that rock. All in all, they are actually in better shape than their previous opponents on the Survivor team at the moment. They still have all of their medkits, and nobody has a need to actually use any of the medkits, so at the moment they're in a better position. Let's just see if they can hold this better position. Tank is moving in instantaneously. He's going to try and pin somebody. Smoker goes quite early, but he misses his tongue, so he should be able to reposition. Everybody's up and ready now. All the spawns are very separated. There's a Charger landing in the back there under the tents. This is not looking good. The Tank does actually end up killing the Hunter, though. They're going to kill that Charger. Nobody at the moment is in-capped. He's going to look to try and in-cap somebody before he dies, but he does die and is unable to get an in-cap. But on the flip side, everybody is now slow. Other than one survivor, which is Rochelle. Because as we know, if you fall below 40 health, you actually lose some movement speed, and that has happened to 3 people. Zombie Man has been forced to use his medkit, so that's a 25-point deduction from their total score, providing they make it to the safe. Boomer tried to get a spawn behind that van there, but he wasn't able to get it, so they're going to reposition and look for an attack. Most likely in the alleyway, similarly to last round. We have a Spitter, Boomer, Charger, and a Smoker. Good chance for separation, and a good chance for a Charger-Spit combo. Just have to see how they play it. The Smoker's going to try and smoke somebody from the front. And the survivors are just taking their time here. Smoker's going from the front now, pulling somebody, as well as the Charger's going to steal that target. The Spit was a little bit too far in front, but it doesn't matter because he's got stumbled into the Death Spit, and this guy's going straight down. He was actually the guy who used the medkit as well, so that was very well executed in terms of going for the guy who actually healed. He's now slow, and he may actually have to be healed by somebody else's medkit. Smoker tries to delay the get-up animation. He wasn't able to. They try to chase down the Smoker, but he's still at 224 health, so he's not really damaged at all. He's going to be moving back to try and get a respawn, and if you move backwards as a special infected, all the way back, you can press E to get a respawn and go back into ghost mode, which is exactly what he's done. He's now at the car, trying to pull somebody into it, and if a survivor touches the alarm car, then it will trigger it, and so trigger a horde, which is a big group of common infected. He's pulling somebody into the car, and he manages to do that. Hunter moving in, he gets dead stopped and killed immediately. Charger's moving in. Spitter, sorry, and he will be dying there. Spitter wasn't able to capitalize on any caps. All spawns are down for at least 9 seconds, so they should be able to make it in with 3 medkits. So, honestly, they played exceptionally well there to actually preserve 3 medkits, because they were slow and low health for a very large portion of that round. Because of that gameplay, they have actually put themselves in the lead at 705 points. What do we make of that performance, Joker?
Yeah, that was very well played by both teams. I think the first team, did they make it with only 2 medkits?
Yeah, they did, yeah. Yeah, only two medkits versus 3, and honestly, by the way that round played out, you would have expected Team Bot to actually have made it with less medkits, but they did an exceptional job there to preserve their medkits. Considering how lethal the attacks were, they've actually still put themselves in the lead, so you got to give them congratulations for. Reloading. And I will be giving the tank to Relax.
Who is the mentor on each team model? Oh,
Indeed. So, that's actually a little detail I forgot to mention. So, the mentors for each team will be Zombie Man. We actually have some history. Zombie Man and I, we used to play back in the day, and Joken as well, fellow Swede. And yeah, a lot of history there. Good old days. I know Zombie Man's been in this game for quite a long time.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's still around.
I'm happy.
we're all still around.
Honestly, I'm actually very happy that everybody's still around, because this tournament is exactly what this game needs. I mean, everybody organizing this tournament and keeping the community alive, it's an exceptional thing.
Ready up there.
And I'm very happy that the tournament is keeping this community going. It's a lovely little community we have here.
Oh, yeah, it's a game that refuses to die.
And that can be attributed exclusively to its community. So the initial setup will be a spitter, smoker, boomer, and a hunter. So they have a 2-2, which is known as a setup with a spitter and a boomer. So there's already Rochelle on the van. They're just looking around, trying to pick off some spawn. Boomer's rocketing in. They don't actually manage to kill him. Boomer lands on one. Hunter's trying to cover the smoke target. He does actually end up stealing the smoke's target. As a result, the spitter wasn't able to actually spit on anybody. So they will be killing all spawns but the spitter. So they're going to be hoping for 3 kappas, which a kappa is any special infected which can render a survivor immobile temporarily. The spitter's going to wait behind the safe room until he can press E to get a respawn. So at the moment we have a jockey. Oh, we have a boomer, so they still have another 2-2. So we have a spitter, hunter, jockey, and a boomer. They're probably going to be looking to attack from here. The unfortunate thing here I'm noticing is that they're all attacking from similar directions. It looks like they're spacing out now. Obviously, you want to be directing everybody from a different direction in your attacks. There is a witch ahead. She's just in the doorway in the alleyway. They're probably going to look to try and attack with the witch to try and get somebody incapacitated.
Behind.
Yep, there's a hunter ready and waiting, pre-spawn behind.
I'm surprised they're not taking this through the fence.
Oh, they went for the witch immediately. All spawns going in. Hunter shot down. Boomer going in, and he gets shut down before he can vomit onto anybody. All the spawns, very, very well done by the survivor team there to completely shut everything down.
I can always use
Yeah,
that.
that was very sloppy on the infected part. They let him crown the witch without any contestant whatsoever.
Yeah, the error on their part would probably be that they should have had at least one spawn waiting at the witch, because if you scratch a witch as she's being aggravated, it increases her aggravation, and so makes it a lot more difficult to shut her down.
Yeah, and she can stand up really fast and make the crown.
At the moment, we have a pretty good setup. We have a charger, smoker, and a jockey. They're probably all going to position themselves on the rooftop, or the bridge, excuse me, above the survivors. Survivors slowly making their way towards the carrot. Smoker from behind is going to get some separation, but the tongue was cut, and the charger was leveled by Smurf there. 3 booms, and Smurf showing himself to be a very good player here as he shut down 3 spawns almost by himself there. He cut the smoker tongue, leveled the charger, and essentially shut down almost the entire attack by himself there. So very well played by Smurf, who is actually Ellis.
And let's go, let's go.
So the boom has now run out, and spawns will be coming up, but a little bit staggered. There'll be 3 spawns, as well as 1 spawn coming up in 3 seconds. At present, there is a hunter, spitter, and a charger. A decent setup for this alleyway. Tank has now spawned, actually, during the event. Charger immediately shut down, though he went in without any support, so they're going to try and get some separation with the spit here. The spit is delaying them temporarily. Tank's just going to be on the rooftop there, trying to throw some rock.
At least they're going to be running back for this.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the best option for them.
I'm surprised they're not breaking a line of sight.
Essentially, the main thing that this tank play will come under is going to be the boomer. If the boomer lands on at least 2 people, it's going to be exceptionally difficult for the survivors to survive this event. So they need to be very cautious of that boomer, and they actually do have a boomer. Team VVV, so they need to be very careful of that. All 3 spawns.
Putting the tank up on the bridge, to be honest.
Get the lead out, people!
Tank is slowly making his way in. Probably what they're going to do is they're going to follow the spawns with the tank. Tank is going to climb up, moving his way in. Boomer lands onto two people. Nice little double punch onto the two non-boom survivors. He's going to pin somebody inside. This is not looking good for them. They really need to attack soon, though, because the tank is now very low. They may actually be able to kill the tank here. He's pinning Nick in the corner. He may be able to get an in-cap before he dies, but he's not able to. The boom was very good, but the support was a tiny bit lackluster. He got a very nice separation punch and a nice double punch initially. He pinned somebody inside the caravan, but the people outside probably should have been contested by the special infected, so it's a little bit unfortunate. There's a smoker on top just making some noise, trying to delay the survival. We have a jockey, spitter, smoker, and a charger for this alleyway attack if they can position in time. Doesn't look like they'll be able to, though. The pace of Team Bot is looking pretty good.
Reloading.
Charger getting a nice little spawn behind the toilets there, but killed immediately. Smoker onto a survivor, but immediately cleared as well. A little bit of a stagger because the spitter actually didn't go in with the spawns, and I suppose that's probably a good thing because nobody landed on anybody. So the spitter is very important if you spit onto a pinned survivor. And if nobody is pinned, then unless you can delay them, there's not really much you can... Spawns are now coming up. They have a boomer, spitter, hunter, and a charger. So they have another charger. Let's see if they can make it work a little bit better. Hunter pre-spawned and pouncing around, just causing some distraction. We have a couple infected on the roof. We have 3 on the roof. The hunter's pouncing very high up, trying to get a 25 damage. Boomer from on the roof gets a boom onto one survivor. Pounced barely misses there. That would have been 25 very easy. Charger rocketing in at the speed of light, but he doesn't end up landing on anybody. The spit will just go in front of the doorway to hopefully delay them as much as he can, because the survivors are currently bleeding out and Nick is below 40 HP and therefore his movement speed is reduced. But it shouldn't be too problematic for them because they are covering each other very nicely. They still have all 4 medkits, and if they can hold this, they're gonna close the margin. They're going to increase the margin quite significantly. Just have to see how the survivors play here. We have a smoker and a boomer moving in on 3 survivors. Very nicely done there. Hunter and smoker going onto the survivors in the back. He's not able to land on anybody though. Smurf is in the back here. If he gets separated, this could be deadly, but the non-boom survivor, Rochelle, is keeping an eye on everybody and would manage to clear Smurf, aka Ellis. So unless they can get maybe a stagger attack before they make it into the safe room, this is looking like this round is going to go in favor of Team Bot. Spawns coming up so far. There's a jockey and a boomer. Next spawn's coming up in a few seconds. Jockey spawning up and making some noise to distract, but they're going to make it straight into the safe room, no contest whatsoever, and they're going to make it in with a massive bonus. What do we make of that performance?
Oh, well, I will get right on it.
You get right on that. Well, while I go over that previous round, so they preserved all 4 medkits, which obviously each medkit awards a bonus point, and they also dealt with the witch, which wasn't contested. So I'd say it's partly very well played on the survivors and very a tiny bit sloppy on the infected side. And I shall be giving.
How does it sound now? Taking over it. Yeah, VVV did not have the tank right they were looking for there.
No, unfortunately. I mean, I have to say the tank was very well played. But
Yeah, the tank could not do much more than that.
yeah, he did everything he could.
Highly
Yeah.
contagious.
Did everything he could considering the circumstances. But I mean, honestly, you can't take it away from the survivors, though. They did play very.
Yeah,
So-
they did.
Initial setup here be a same as last time: smoker, boomer, hunter, and a spitter. Nobody has spawned up yet. There's 2 people on the roof above the safe. There's going to be 1 hunter on the roof in front of the safe room, and the spitter's just kind of in the distance, going to be waiting probably for that hunter pound to spit on. Survivors are cautiously making their way out. In moves the Hunter from above. The Boomer is shut down before he can land, and so is the Hunter, so the Spitter isn't able to make anything happen there. A little bit of delay, though, happening with where the Spit was positioned, so they actually got some nice delay, so they should be able to get their spawns a little bit quicker. There is a Witch ahead, and we're going to have to see if Team Bot are able to capitalize on the Witch. Perhaps a little bit better than the previous. We'll have to see. They have a Jockey and a Boomer. Final spawns coming up in about a second. We have and finally a Spitter. So Boomer moving in from the Caravan, getting a boom, not Caravan, Gazebo, getting a boom onto one Survivor. Hunter pouncing very high up. Spitter and everybody shut down just at the same time. Not much to say there. Just very nice focus fire onto the Special Infected. That means their spawns are down, so they can rush this Witch, which Nick is going to do. He has precisely 10 seconds, which he will be... I have to say, Nick, you're a little bit lucky there. He missed the first shot, but the slice of the Witch actually missed his view model, so he was able to reposition and get the final killing blow, which I have to say, a little bit lucky. Boomer from behind the wall there, getting a boom onto one Survivor. They're going to get another attack. I like the pressure they're keeping on the Survivors here. So one Survivor boom, Smoker from the back pulling Rochelle, and the Charger trying to get some cover. He is leveled though, and he will be completely shut down. That's very well played by Coach there, aka Flickshot, managing to cut the essentially cut the Charger down. Otherwise, if he got charged there, then that would have been two people pinned in the back, and that would have been a lot of damage. But they're preserving their health nicely. They have 4 medkits and 1 set of pills. And pain pills give temporary HP, whereas the medkits will give a full HP. Spawns coming up now, which will be a Boomer, Hunter, Spitter, and a Jockey. They're not going to be looking to save this setup. It's not particularly great. Jockey moving in first, trying to land on somebody. A Spit Hunter combo and a Boom combo lands onto Nick, but as we know, in Left 4 Dead 2, high ground is very important, and as you can see here, a display of how important high ground is. He was on the railing, and therefore the Spit was not applying any damage to him. That's a very important thing to keep in mind in Left 4 Dead 2 in terms of Spitters.
As soon as that door opens, get ready to run for the tower.
Moving into the Caravan now, they'll be triggering this event. And we have a Jockey, Smoker, Boomer, and a Charger. So quite a good setup actually for this. Boomer through the fence there, landing onto 3 Survivors. They're not going to push any further forward because they don't want to trigger the tank with 3 people boomed. Absolutely terrible idea if they go for that. So they're going to wait out the boom. Survivors, yeah, they're looking to attack now actually. Charger moving in, doesn't get anybody and is killed immediately. Smoker is cleared before he can manage to get any damage, and the Jockey is struggling to get over the fence there because there is actually an invisible wall positioned just above some of those railings, which can make it a little bit awkward to get over. Jockey is shut down, which wasn't the best time to die because that means that his spawn won't be up soon. Somebody in the back is completely separated, but she manages to get the dead stop and the final killing blow with her melee, and therefore preventing any excessive damage. A tank will be in the hands of Smurf. A Boomer lands onto 2 Survivors. I wonder if the tank will go in with this, or whether he'll just throw some rocks from the high ground. From how he's positioning, it looks like he could potentially be looking to throw some rocks. Or even potentially get on the bridge and drop down on them. But it's not looking too successful for him at the moment. He just about manages it there, so he is currently above the Survivors. This could be very surprising. This is going to be a massive surprise for them, as this tank is going to jump down right now. He's going to try and land a punch. Lands an initial punch onto Rochelle. They've got their melee weapons out, and he misses another punch, which could be deadly. Spawn's moving in now. Smoker onto 1. Oh, they get a tri-cap. Can they end it here? It looks like they will be able to end it. A very exceptionally well done infected round there by Team Bot. I cannot say enough nice things about that tri-cap. Landing onto 3 Survivors like that, and especially with that setup as well. I mean, the Jockey can easily steal the smoke target and vice versa, and there could be a lot of potential. And the other thing worth mentioning is that the tank has 36 HP. I mean, it was a very clutch gameplay for both teams. What an infected round for Team Bot, though. What do you think, Joker?
Yeah, that's gotta hurt for Team Vivi. They handled the tank so well with the melee weapons and the jukes, but bot just proved that the support is key.
Absolutely. And this is going to be another Smurf tank on this round, so I'll just get to.
Yeah, I'm sure they're happy to give Smurf the tank if they can provide him with such fine support.
And on their team, it will be Relax. There we are. Yeah, so for this round, there's going to be a tank in the hands of Smurf for Team Bot, and for Team VVV, it will be another Relax. So we'll have to see how this plays out. That's going to be a big bash on the head in terms of morale for the Team VVV there. They got absolutely annihilated by that lovely little tri-cap that we saw, which is just a perfect example of how if the tank pins one survivor and the spawns go in for the remaining survivors, if you land, then they're dead. There's just nothing they can do. It's not won. Now, I'd really like to stress that this game is not over yet. There is a large margin between these two teams, but I'm just hoping that Team VVV can maintain their morale for this, and they can easily make a comeback as long as they keep their heads in the game. Boomer spawning above, getting a boom onto 1. Hunter's moving in for the... Oh, nice little shutdown on the Hunter there, and the Spitter is unable to spit on anybody there as a result. So that'll be that attack shut down immediately, and Team Boss are going to be making their way through, hopefully trying to get to the balcony before any spawn. And spawns won't be up for another 5 seconds. So they're just about going to make it to the balcony. Are you going to say something, Joker?
No. I guess because there's gonna be a cemetery tank.
Ooh. There's also going to be a witch here. Ellis is moving in for this witch. He might get pounced, and he does get pounced, and so in-cap. This is what they need. They need such stuff like this. Jockey's moving in, getting cut down immediately. Boomer landing onto hopefully all survivors here, and it's looking like he's going to land on all survivors. That's what they need. Absolutely brilliant. That is what they need. And Zombie Man, aka Ellis, nearly died there as well. I love what the Hunter did there. The Hunter created exactly the distraction they needed on map 2. They're struggling to kill these common infected onto Ellis, but luckily they are able to revive him before the pressure can be applied. That's what they need. They need things like that to keep them in the game, which is exactly what they're doing. Unless they find a set of pain pills, he's going to have to use his medkit, and he's using the med, and they haven't made it through this choke point yet, so there'll be another attack. Hunter positioned behind the caravan as well as Spit. Charger moving in, lands a charge onto Rochelle. The Spit just barely misses. Oh, that's so unlucky. The Spit actually didn't land on the survivor who was pinned by the charges. They missed out on some damage there, unfortunately, but it's not to worry. You know, they've gotten rid of a medkit. They just need to keep up the pressure with their infected and maintain a very strict survivor round, and they can easily come back from this. Spawns will be coming up in 3 seconds. At present, we have a Smoker, a Hunter, a Boomer, and a Charger. So we have a Tri-Cap plus a Boomer. They're going to be playing this quite cautiously because they've now what they can do. A Boomer landing onto 1 survivor, but will they attack here? This is a very open area. And I think the answer is no. I don't think they're going to be attacking here. They might actually be killing the Boom in order to get a Spitter for another choke point ahead. And as we know, the sewer is... Oh, the Charger is actually moving in without any other spawns, and he's going to be shut down. I think a little bit of miscommunication is happening. They need to try and fix that if they want to stay in this game. There is a Smoker, Spitter, and a Hunter. They're probably going to be attacking in the sewer, but without that Charger spawn, it's going to be a lot less deadly.
Yeah, this is not the setup you want for this.
No, I mean, the Hunter's probably going to try and pounce somebody who comes in below, although it's looking like they're going to
just might save this for the ladder.
Yeah, it looks like that's what they're going to do. They don't really have the ideal setup for the sewer, and obviously they're still going to play cautiously. They're going to send 1 down at a time, but I think they know deep down that they're not going to attack without a Charger. They're just going to be attacking at the ladder here. And for this attack, we have a Boomer, Smoker, Spitter, and a Hunter, so potential for some separation. As long as they time it properly. We'll have to see if they can manage. There's a Boomer pre-spawn, but pre-spawning up here is fine because you can hide behind things and wait for them to climb up. As long as they're not too hasty. I mean, all spawns are now ready and waiting. The Boomer
Oh, he
tried.
baited the Boomer.
Yeah, they actually did a nice bait there. They baited the Boomer's Vom. They're all going to start moving up now, but they could get separated here, and they have been separated. That's 2 people above, and the Spitter is on the Hunter target. He's going to take a lot of damage. Oh, that's nice. Yep, this is perfect. This is what they need. They need to... I mean, they actually managed to make a not particularly ideal setup work there, and even without the Boomer landing, I can tell you for a fact, if that Boomer landed, that they would be in a lot worse shape than they are now, so it's unlucky for the Boomer. Nonetheless, they are applying some good pressure. Hopefully good enough pressure. Oh, they've triggered an alarm car. It says they have, but it doesn't sound like
it's touched on it. No, triggered.
Oh, touched, but not... Yeah, triggered, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it only triggers if you touch it, if a special infected makes you touch it. And here we have the tank. Boomers from... The Boomer turned from a male to female there, or vice versa. Charger landing onto somebody on top, and he... Oh, Zombie Man, Atlas is taking... Oh no, he's taking so much damage, and the jockey's moving for him. Yeah, the car's moving in. They cannot go above. The car is blocking them. They have to go down there, which is dangerous, and I love what the tank did there. He applied enough pressure with the car to ensure they couldn't make it up the ladder, and that's another medkit, like you say. They only have 1 medkit, so they need to play very well to survive this round. I'm going to be very surprised if they're going to need to pull out some good plays here. The tank is now moving in. He's jumping down the ladder. He's going to try and pin somebody. He's with the car. He's going to move the car in, but he's going to take a lot of damage. Oh, and he gets a nice in cap onto Coach there. He may go for the kill. No, he's going to go for Nick and try and pin him in the room. Nice dual cap. That's what they need. Oh, no, but he's not able to finish anybody off, so he's going to try and get the kill onto Bam, which he does just that. So that's 1 survivor down. Nearly lands the car onto another survivor. He's at very low. Gets a nice final punch, actually. He managed to get a final punch before he died. So they have 3 people remaining. That's very unlucky with that final punch onto Nick there. He was able to get the dead stop onto the smoker, and they had a very nice dual cap there onto 2 survivors. The tank just barely missed 1 punch that he needed, and that's just sometimes what it comes down to. The infected are looking for some spawns. They're going to be moving in now. Hunter is a bit staggered though. He's going to get shut down very quickly there, and nobody else is going to follow. Boomer from below. Ooh, very nice shutdown on the Boomer there. So a little bit staggered. Oh, Nick was very lucky to drop it as he did. He was nearly death pulled. So we have the smoker trailing behind. He's not looking to get a respawn. He's just looking to chase them and keep up. So we have a smoker, a jockey, and a spitter. They're going to hope for a kappa. Which is the Charger, so they have that Kappa. If they can get a nice coordinated attack here, which, speaking of coordination, the Smoker's already gone in and died. This lack of communication, I believe, is the issue, and they probably need to be resolving this, so they're going to have to attack with 2 Kappas now. They're going to need some good damage. Charger misses his charge, unfortunately, and there's a spit with some separation. Jockey in the back, but Nick is there to clear eventually. Rochelle is slow. At 13 health, but obviously there are no spawns to capitalize other than a Hunter. The Hunter's probably just going to look to go as soon as he can, really, just to get some extra damage. And he will do just that. Landing onto Rochelle, hopefully trying to get the in-cap, but he's not able to. Rochelle sitting at a very clutch 6 health. Smoker in the back, his tongue was cut as a result of the pole. Charger moving in, trying to get a charge onto somebody. He lands onto Nick and a nice separation pull onto Rochelle, which is leaving her in-capped. A lot of common infected surrounding them as well. The non-boom survivor didn't get any proxy boom though, and he has an axe, so he can hopefully continue to clear this common. The smoker tried to get a scratch onto the in-cap survivor. He couldn't get it, but even so. Oh, and then there's a nice little spit onto the survivors there. The spit is on the high ground as well. Sometimes the spit can actually spread onto a high ground that you're on, which is very dangerous. They're keeping the pressure up nicely. Just need the Hunter to try and move in as quick as he can. They're not able to get any extra damage, so the survivors did very well to make it there, considering they had 3 for a majority of it. All in all, Team Bot are looking very strong. Even considering how badly the tank fight went, they still managed to pull out some great plays. Because obviously I said they're going to need to pull out some great plays, and they did. But by the same token, I have to say there's just a little bit too much of a stagger in terms of communication, because every now and then you're gonna have one spawn going in and then 3 spawns not going in, and if that spawn that goes in dies, that's about 17 seconds on average that you're gonna have to wait for that next spawn. So a little bit of stagger, which probably was the be all and end all. If they didn't have that, they potentially could have wiped them. Nonetheless, they need to play this round very well. It's not impossible as long as they can make it to the tank and hopefully be in good enough shape to deal with the tank. Yes, I can. There we are. So, as I said before, it will be a Smurf tank. Survivors are going to be hoping to make it to the tank. We've seen how good they are, though, so they should be able to. Boomer moving in from the bridge. He's shut down very quickly. Jockey going in for the guy in the safe room. There's a little bit of a separation onto Rochelle, but the spit doesn't land onto her. So that's damage that they missed out on, and we do have a pause going on. So, they shut down the attack fairly well. Didn't take very much damage. And they're going to have an average of 16 seconds to make it to the bow. We have to remember as well that there is a witch. Just as you drop down from the bus by the caravan, there is going to be a witch. So the infected have 2 options. They either attack before the witch and hope for spawns at the witch, or they save their spawns and miss out on a choke point in order to attack at the witch. So we're just going to have to see how the infected play. So far they have a charger, accompanied by a boomer, a hunter, and a jockey. So they have a tri-cap plus a boomer. I think they're going to attack with the witch, which is probably the advisable thing to do, especially with this setup. It's a very deadly setup. But obviously this is also a good place to fight the witch, because she has to climb up the bus before she can get anybody, and during that animation you can kill her very easily. So we'll have to see how the survivors manage to play with this witch. And we do have a boomer, which is a very deadly spawn with witches, especially if you trigger the witch and the boomer, you can't see what the hell is going on. You can't see the witch, you can't see anything. So it's very dangerous. You have to be very good to crown a witch when you're boom.
Reloading.
And at the moment, they only have 1 shotgun player, which is in the hands of Chris. They're going to be dropping down, actually. And the witch is being triggered, but not onto the correct survivor, I don't believe. Nice separation and onto the jockeyed survivor there, and that's going to be an in-cap, and therefore no bonus points. Very unlucky there. They did a good job with scratching the witch, as we discussed in the previous map. When you scratch the witch as a special infected, it increases her aggravation time, which means that she will trigger a lot faster. They did just that, and unfortunately for them, the witch went for the closest survivor, which was Rochelle. Not Rochelle, sorry, Ellen. He was the closest to the witch, and therefore he took the brunt. Boomer from on top of the caravan manages only to get 1. They shut down that very quickly. Hunter trying to get onto Nick there. He does land onto Nick, but the spit is not going to land onto him. They're probably going to pass those pain pills onto Ellis there, who is currently on a bleeding health, which means that his health is temporarily ticking away. Pain pills will give him a temporary boost, but it will continue to tick. So he's going to hope to preserve as much as he can and not have to use a medkit, because they need as much bonus as they can possibly get in this round. So far we have a boomer, charger, smoker. Final spawn will be a jockey, so they have a nice little... depends which choke point they go for. There's a lot of options here in terms of choke point. We'd have to see what they do. I don't think they're going to be attacking here. Maybe they will, actually. There's a smoker spawned up behind, trying to get some separation. It doesn't look like he can get anybody, though. He's just not in the right position, and they can just dodge the tongue really easily. Charger spawning up from behind where the boomer is, though, and he ended up getting staggered. There's a smoker going for separation. He's going to get killed as well, though. The charger's charging back to try and get a respawn as quick as he can, as well as the jockey. They do want to keep that charger for this sewer. However, if the survivors are quick enough, they could potentially make it down the sewer. There are 12 seconds remaining on the spawn timers.
Yeah, that was kind of sloppy play by the infected.
Yeah, unfortunately, although Carl is doing a very good job keeping his temporary health up, hopefully he won't have to use them. They did exactly as I said. They made it through the sewer, so now they have the ladder choke point to contest with, and they have a very dangerous setup to deal with. The Boomer's going to be waiting patiently on the ladder. He gets the boom onto 1, but they're not above, so they can just wait the boom out, which is what they're going to do. However, that's not in their favor. And the reason why that's not in their favor is because Ellis has temporary HP, and the longer they wait down there, the more HP Ellis is going to lose.
And the Boomer is recharging as we speak.
Indeed, yeah, and he will probably be able to get a recharged boom. So really, it's probably a good thing that he's delaying them because he's draining out Ellis's.
Yeah, that's gonna be another set of pills gun in a second.
They don't have a smoker, so the separation potential isn't as good, but they can still make something work. Boomer again, he gets a boom onto 1, but the longer they wait, the more HP they're going to drain. So they're going to need to make a decision here pretty soon. Do they want to go up, or do they want to keep waiting and draining the HP? Obviously, they have to be careful of common infected there blocking the ladder, which is very possible. And up they go. Jockey onto 1, but he's meleeed off. Charger lands onto 1, and Hunter lands onto 1 on top. They're going to get some good damage here. Not as much as they're probably hoping for, but damage is damage at the end of the day. They triggered an alarm car. However, if somebody is boomed, it doesn't matter if you trigger an alarm car because the horde will time itself to be with the boomed infected. So, actually, it's a good little tip to remember. If you are boomed, then trigger an alarm car nearby because it won't matter because you're already getting a horde from the. You're already going to get a horde spawned from the boom. So you can actually drain the alarm car and make sure it's no longer a threat if you get...
Honestly, I would have liked to see... Yeah, that's exactly what then pushing up and secure the area around the... ambulance.
Rochelle doesn't seem to realize that her target behind is pinned. They're going to need to use some medkits here. The tank is going to move the car in, but if they play it properly with that truck and the ambulance, they do have the potential to dodge this car. There is only Uzis in the ambulance, so they have to have 4 Uzis by the looks of things. He's moving the car in. Will he be able to get anybody? It's going to be very awkward. He's gonna say, screw the car, I'm just going straight for the survivors. And he's trying to do that. He's not able to get anybody yet. He misses his first punch. And second, there is a nice separation onto Rochelle, though, in the back here. She's going to be in caps and probably even killed by this, unless they can surround the tank. And a nice... Oh my goodness!
Oh my god.
No, it's not going well at all. Oh no, 1 more survivor remaining. He's going to try and chase this guy down. He has 2,000 health. Smoker lands onto that guy, and if he can cover, he's going to have to try and get Coach, though. They have the potential to kill this tank. He doesn't have the car in a good position to kill anybody, so they can potentially kill this tank if they chase it. The in-cap survivors need to be shooting like they've never shot before. And there's a jockey moving in from the back. He misses his punch. And the jockey lands onto him as well as the boomer. No, it's got to be over here. The survivors don't have a good enough angle. No, the boom. Oh no, the boomer proxy got the jockey off. Can he revive anybody? The answer probably is no, and yeah, the answer is definitely no. He is going to die there. Oh, very unfortunate.
We are not feeling great right now.
No, I have to say, honestly, there's got to be pretty demoralizing getting wipes like that by the Tricat on map 2. It doesn't do great things for your morale, and unfortunately they haven't been able to keep the morale, it doesn't look like, and you can't really blame them. It's a tense situation to be in, especially in a tournament setting. Having that kind of pressure, it's going to get to you, and you can't really blame them. They're still putting up a good fight, and we're still seeing some good gameplay from them, and you got to give props where props are due. Team VVV are by no means a weak team. They're not weak whatsoever. They are still playing well, but they are just getting outshined by a much more coordinated infected side by Team Bot. You just can't help but notice it, can you? Really, the coordination from Team Bot, it's just the practice that they've been putting in is really showing. They're able to pin multiple survivors with their communication. And the final tank will be a Carl. There we are. So for the final map of this series, we have a Carl tank, and well, it's Carl spelt with a 4, but I'm gonna assume it's Carl. It's got to be. And Team VVV are just gonna try and put up as much of a fight as they can. tank will be spawning at exactly halfway through the map at 49%. Well, I mean, not exactly. You know, you can forget about that 1%. And the witch will be quite a late spawn, actually, at 72%. And I'm just going to wait for the ready up HUD to be disappearing, so I can see the initial attack. What would you like to see from the infected side here on Team VVV, Joker?
I would like to see a fat boomer splash riding the pit.
Exactly, yeah. Obviously, when you have a spitter and a boom, a good idea is to make sure that the boomer is positioned so that when he gets popped, he stumbles a survivor while they are standing in spit. That's the most ideal situation for a spitter-boomer combination. It is a fairly open map, mind you, so it is not the easiest thing to pull off in this kind of environment. It's a lot better on some more close-quarter maps.
Where is
for
their
example,
fourth spawn? I can see a jockey and 2 support.
we will be seeing that when the ready up HUD disappears on the spec HUD. At the moment, we're just waiting for Team Bot to ready up, and they have done just that. So we will be getting our final chapter of the parish underway, and this is the very Hunter moving in immediately, and the boomer shut down before he can get a stumble. Some separation, as well as a jockey moving for Rochelle, but he was cleared immediately before he could land on anybody. So they will be
shut down on bot side.
Yep, exactly. I mean, the main difference is that Team Bot are doing very well to shut down all of the attacks, and also they're very coordinated on their infected gameplay. So they're doing rather well here. It's showing a great display of skill.
Oh yes.
So we have a boomer, hunter, jockey, and a charger. Boomer from below getting a nice boom onto 2 people in the back. They're going to try to look for some separation here. Jockey landing onto 1 non-boom survivor. Charger moving in, landing onto Rochelle. He'll get cleared fairly quickly though, and he does just that. But the jockey is still going. The boomer's just delaying. He's getting a nice body block there. So 2 people are at approximately half health.
The proxy boom on 2 people as well. That's going to delay with some more.
Yeah, they'll get a nice little delay going on there. So. Nice boomer gameplay there. Boomer spawned below them and gave them no chance and just boomed onto 2, and then 2 immediately after that. Survivors are making their way up the staircase here. There's no spawns able to capitalize here. So they're going to try and get the boomer from below, which he's going to try and get a boom onto 1. So yeah, it's a boom onto 1 survivor. However, no spawns will be following up on that. Hunter is waiting below. He's in crouch mode, ready to pounce onto somebody. He's thinking twice though. He's going to be moving back outside.
Yeah, they're going to be waiting for the respawn here.
Indeed, we have Bam at 46 HP, so 7 more damage to her, and she will be slow.
Well,
Hunter moving in now.
Right now.
A little bit of a stagger. They get a nice stumble onto 2 survivors as well as a spit. Some good damage there. Yep, that's the best they can hope for there. They couldn't get the incapacitation, but they did get some very good damage onto Zombie Man, aka Rochelle, who is now going to have to probably take some pills or be healed, and she's going to opt to heal instead. Which I suppose is probably the better option because you get a lot more HP back from healing than you do from pain pills, which is a standard 58.
Yeah, and you want to keep the pills for the tank fights as well.
Absolutely, yep. Because pills, you take them immediately and they apply. Boomer getting a boom from the rooftop onto 1 survivor. He was probably hoping for a bit. Yeah, I mean, he's given away his position now, so... Ooh, that was a very close little curve rock there around the window. He's going for some curve rocks around here. Nice curve rock onto Nick there, very well played. Nice little 25 damage per 25 damage per rock will be applied, and 25 damage per punch as well. Some nice curve rocks here. Nice display of curve rocks by Carl, but they are shutting down the rocks with those shotguns very. The boomer's obviously his position is given away, but if the distraction. Oh, nice little rock skeet by Rochelle there. She was just about to get hit by that. Tank's going to be moving in from inside to stop them from going inside. Oh, the boomers gotten shut down though, and the tank is about to be passing to AI. He's going to have to move in with 2 spawns. He's got no option. Smoker moving in onto Rochelle. Tank misses his first punch and second punch. He might even die before he gets anybody. He gets a punch onto Ellis and a punch onto Nick. He's trying to move the cars in. Can he get an in-cap before he dies? He gets an in-cap. Yeah, he's able to get something out of this. He's going to try and get the kill onto nearly one more punch on the car, and he is able to get it, maybe? I don't think he's going to get it. Oh, no.
In some way?
I think so, yeah.
I think he just got gun framed from something.
I think he probably should have been killed there, because the car did actually apply.
Yeah, and it was wiggling, so it counts as hits.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I think to be honest, it was maybe because he was hitting a car into it. He wasn't actually hitting the car that he was intending to use, so that could have been an influencing factor in that. What we saw there. A boom just went in there onto 1 survivor. They still have 2 medkits, and nobody really needs to heal, so they're in a good position at the moment. At the moment, honestly, it just looks like they're going to be extending their lead. Hunter landing onto 1 as well as a spit. The spit's onto him, but he can eat. Which he does just that. Coach is now slow, and may have to use a medkit unless they find some pills. Boomer rocketing in, getting a boom onto 2 survivors. Hopefully the boom lasts long enough for them to get an attack off of it, otherwise they're going to have to wait. Because this is what we're talking about in terms of the organization that's a little bit more staggered in terms of the VVD. At the moment we have a Hunter, Smoker, Charger, and final spawn coming up, which will be a Spitter. So they have a Spit Charge combo, Spit Hunter combo, and some Smoker separation potential. As well as a very deadly choke point here, which is the balcony. Anything can happen. They're just being very cautious at the moment, making sure not to make any hasty movements. Smoker's pre-spawned up as well as the Hunter. They're going to move in now. All spawns dropping down. Hunter landing onto Coach. Charger tries to get somebody off of the roof. He's unable to do so. There is a Spit landing onto Nick, who nearly gets incapped. He does get incapped actually, because the Spit dropped down and scratched him down. So that's an incapacitation, and he could actually have to use his medkit here, because there doesn't look to be any pills in sight.
Yeah, good job doing the Spit Charge combo on the green health guy. That's another medkit gone, hopefully.
Exactly. I mean, if you have a Charger Spitter combo, the best thing to do is to go for the highest HP target you can, because it wipes off a lot of HP if you land that combo successfully. So the best thing to do is to go for the highest HP target you can get. Boomer going from below, landing onto 1 survivor. Hunter moving in from on top, trying to get somebody. The Charger unfortunately misses his stop. Hunter landing onto 1, Jockey landing onto another. Can they get some separation? Brilliant attack, absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. That's the coordination they've been needing all along. Nice separation, and everybody is in a different spot. And 3 people are incapacitated. The only person remaining is Smurf, aka Ellis. Obviously Bam as well is surrounded by commons. She is Bam is aka Coach is going to perish, and she is no longer in the game. Just the separation is just too hectic. They couldn't do anything about that. They have a Smoker, Spitter, Boomer, and final spawn coming up in 4 seconds. The Boomer's probably going to try and get a boom from below, which he's about to do now. Landing a boom onto all 3 survivors. Some separation from the Smoker. Not able to pull anybody down though no separation happening from that. They have no medkits, and 2 people need medkits, so Hunter landing onto 1. Spitter going to be spitting onto that target, and they're both stuck in spit. Nick's going to go down, so they're going to have to try and hold back and get him up. They're not in a good position right now. And a nice little separation Smoker onto Rochelle, but she's caught on the pole there, so she didn't actually go down. That's very unfortunate by the infected. Spitter's going to get his spit recharged soon. Smoker in the back going to wait for his tongue recharge as well. We have a Charger. Final spawn is going to be a boot. Charger moving in for the guy below. He lands on him before he can use the medkit. And there's a Smoker onto Rochelle at the bottom, and it's over. It is done. Yep, they played very well there. That was a very well played infected round.
Yeah, that was the infected round that they needed all game.
Absolutely. If they had that kind of coordination the whole way through, this would have been a much different game. We would have liked to have seen more of attacks like that, of that caliber. So they showed there that they have the potential, and they are a very strong team, Team VVV. Obviously, not a weak team at all. I think potentially as well, you know, like we've said before, I've said it before, but you know, their morale isn't particularly high at the moment. Whose tank is it going to be? It's going to be GK, so I'll give it to GK. GK will become the tank. So for this final map, we will have a GK tank, who I believe is a fellow Swede alongside Zombie.
Who?
GK, I believe he is a Swede.
Really?
Yeah, Zombie Man and GK, and we've got Joken here, is also a Swede, so...
Oh, it's like half our country here.
Got it, yeah, half the country here, exactly. Got a nice little Swedish representation here.
Oh yeah.
Survivors moving now, only 2 people moved out, 2 people inside the safe room, now 3 people out. Everybody pre-spawn, everybody moving in. Boomer spawned before, Boomer shut down before he can... A little bit of damage going to be applied to Ellis there, but not as much as they would have hoped for. And all spawn shut down in very good fashion, and they're going to be pushing forward. Probably going to be skipping a very deadly choke point here as well, because of how quickly they shut down that attack. They can move at a swift rate and get further, which they are doing just that. They've skipped the choke point, and the infected have no choice really but to attack at the next choke point. There's going to be a Charger, Jockey, Hunter, and a Boomer for this setup. So quite a good setup. Boomer from behind, but they got into the doorway before he could vomit. So he doesn't have vomit now. And he's going to be waiting. There's a Hunter spawn in the pool table. He's just going to be pouncing around trying to scare them off a bit while the Boomer gets his reach up. He's trying to move in for some proxy. Proxy boom, which a proxy boom is when he's popped in range of a survivor. And he applies the boom. Charger moving in, getting a nice little charge there onto Nick. Cleared very quickly, Hunter cleared very quickly as well, and everything is cleared, like I say, very quickly. And they are limiting the damage that they could be taking by clearing the special infected in very swift fashion, and this is another thing they need. So far we have a Boomer. Final spawns will be coming up in 5 seconds. Boomer going to get a successful boom onto 2 survivors, and that was GK, by the way. He has now become the tank. Smoker tried to get some separation there, as well as the Charger. They're going to move in for separation. They're pinning Nick here, as well as the Charger. They need to clear him as soon as they can, because there's dumpsters near, there's cars nearby. He's not in a good position, but the tank is unable to capitalize. Very well played by the survivors to make sure there was no capitalization on that. That could have ended so badly for them, but they really... very clutch gameplay, managing to get over. Oh, that dumpster's going to high heavens, and so is that one. Wow. So he's moving a dumpster in. They pretty much have no choice but to move inside because he's got a lot of hittables out. Rochelle is in the back here, and they don't seem to know. They really need to be careful of this. They don't need to. Oh, and this is what I'm talking about. Rochelle is now pinned and is now going to be cornered by the tank. Although they only have a Boomer, and as long as they shut down the Boomer, which they're not able to do, the Boomer landed onto 2 people. Now all they have to do is just surround this tank and try and kill it if it goes in. They are able to revive him. Tank is moving in now. He's at 4,000 HP and dropping very quickly. They're going to try and kill him. He's at 2,500 and still dropping very quickly. He's at 25% HP and he's not able to get very much out of it. Infected spawns are moving in now. Hunter is cleared. Smoker lands onto Ellis but is also cleared very quickly. Jockey is going to move in as his last minute stagger. But he's just going to retreat out of that. Tank is at 1,269 HP. Lands a very nice rock through the window frame there onto Nick, aka Chris. Very, very well played rock there. He's moving in below. He's probably going to die before he can land a punch, and he does just that. He dies before he can land a punch. Survivors are not in a good position though. A lot of survivors are below 40 HP, which means their mobility is not great, and Boomer's going to be spawning below. Nice shutdown on the Boomer there. They need stuff like that to keep them in the game.
Very well handled.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, very well handled. They're going to try and preserve their medkits as much as they can because they need the bonus points. Although, speaking of the devil, Rochelle's going to be healing up. She's going to be using one of her medkits. Jockey's just pouncing around, causing some mayhem on the roof, and he's going to be moving back. They looked like they were going to attack in the alleyway, but they decided otherwise. Spitter, Boomer, Jockey, and Hunter will be our setup for this balcony attack, which not the best. They may look to attack inside, which is what they're going to be doing. Hunter wall kicking and landing onto one survivor, but the spit does not reach. Neither does the vomit from the Boomer, so they shut down that attack in very swift fashion again, and they're probably going to look to try and trigger the event. Now the spawns are all dead. They have no risk of being pinned on the top there, and basically once you drop down from this balcony, you cannot get back up. So they have no risk of that, which is very good for them. Spawns will be coming up in 6 seconds. The final spawn will be in 6 seconds. So far there's a Spitter, Charger, Smoke. Final spawn will be a Jockey. So they're going to be looking to get some Spitter Charger damage from this setup, as well as some separation from the Smoke. Spitter going to be looking for the smoke for the charge target, but he drops down. He's unable to get anything, but there is one survivor in the spit. There's one separated by the smoker who is now below, but one in cap is probably not what they were hoping for. I'm sure they were hoping for a lot more than that. Not as successful. He's just going to be revived, and he's just going to take his pills, and just as he did there, and they could even make it over this choke point, which they are doing just that. So they're doing very good this round. Much better survivor gameplay that we're seeing from Team VVV here, proving that they are not a weak team whatsoever. We have a Boomer, Spitter, Smoker, and a Hunter. They're going to be looking to attack inside, most likely. Spitter's going to spit for some delay. Boomer goes in, but is shut down. So they have shut down both, basically shut down the Spitter because she's used her spit. And there is a witch ahead. She is just behind the car, just in front of the building they need to go into. And they have one spawn down now. The Spitter has just died, so that's a bit of stagger. They could use this opportunity to kill the witch. Then again, there's a lot of common infected, which will make it very awkward to focus somebody down. To focus the witch down, excuse me. They're moving closer to the witch. They're looking to do something here while the spawns are down. Jockey above is going to look to scratch the witch and increase her aggravation, but she is not yet aggravated. Moving in now, nice little crown by Nick there. Very well played by him. And there's a Hunter landing onto Coach, as well as a Smoker going in for scratches. Nice little shutdowns here, and the spit is not going to delay anybody because the spit is not in the right position. So they're going to be making it through here. They're doing very good.
Yeah, very well handled with the witch.
Yeah, I have to say that
they're a bit slow though. They didn't react fast enough.
I would say that's a factor indeed. But obviously a very, very nice crown by Nick, aka got to give credit where credit is due there.
Yeah,
Boomer going in the front, nice little boom onto one. The Charger isn't able to land, and is going to be shut down after getting 2 scratches, and each Charger scratch does exactly 10 damage. So obviously Charger scratches are very, very vital. Especially if you can get scratches onto multiple people in the same area. Going to be making their way into the safe room here, and all the spawns will be coming up in 3 seconds exactly. They're going to try and get some staggered last-minute attacks. Everybody spawning up in the back and making their way through. Jockey first gets shut down, Hunter gets shut down, Spitter gets shut down, and Boomer, just like the others, gets shut down. Just great gameplay that they really needed this whole game.
Yeah.
They're going to make it into the safe.
Played.
Obviously, I have to say, unfortunately, it has not been successful for Team VVV. They pulled out exactly what they needed at the wrong time, which means that they have lost this game 2,625 to Team Bot to 2,446 to Team VVV. So Team Bot will be your victorious team for tonight, but not a very big margin, mind you. It's just unfortunate that Team VVV couldn't pull out that kind of performance in Map 4 in the other maps. They struggled to keep their morale. So that's it for that round, ladies and gentlemen. We will be jumping into another one fairly soon, so stay tuned.